Guys, we're going out to pick our honeysuckles to make our honeysuckle jelly, and I wanted to show you my honeysuckle patch. This is my tree line, and there's just mountains of them. Look up here. Look how pretty. Right in the middle of my wild grapes. So look at the honeysuckles. Also, you can go down over a hill and look at them on that hillside over there. Just thousands and thousands of them. All right. Look at those beautiful golden honeysuckles. Now, you want to pick the gold ones, not the white ones. Although it's not going to hurt if you get a few of the white ones in there. Aren't those beautiful? And the smell, oh my gosh, the smell. But anyway, if you're going to get into bushes like this to pick honeysuckles, be really careful because you don't know what's in the little boogers in these woods. Yeah. All right, I'm going to get these picked and I'll see you inside. Bye. Alrighty guys, today, honeysuckles. When you collect your honeysuckles that you're going to make honeysuckle jelly, make sure you get the golden ones. I mean, I did get a few white ones in there, but you want to make sure you get mostly golden. The golden ones have more honey in them, they're more mature. Then you want to bring them in, fill a bowl with water. All you're going to need is 4 loose cups. 4 cups full. When you put them in that cup, don't push them down. Don't pack them down. Don't do any of that. Just drop them in your measuring cup. You're going to need 4 cups. Then you bring them in and put them in some ice cold, well not ice cold, but cold water, and just move them around, rinse them around, scrub them around, to get all the bugs and garbage, and I already picked out all the green leaves that I decided to bring in with me. Anyway, put your hands in, put it in the middle, go washy, 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 in new cheer, rinsey, 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 till the water runs clear. Then, dump. Look at all that crap coming off of there. Uh-oh, lost a honeysuckle. Can't do that. No. Took too long to pick them. All right. And then just keep washing and rinsing and washing and rinsing until you get everything out of it and the water's clean. All right. On to the next step. Okay. You want to put your honeysuckles in a pot after you've washed them really, really well. And one thing I forgot to mention, guys, once you wash them, if you are on a septic system, do not pour that water down the drain. Because if you look in the bottom, you're going to see thousands of seeds out of these things. What you want to do is once you strain the water, wrap your seeds up in a plastic bag, put them in the trash, or if you burn your trash, burn them. Or if you have a place that you want honeysuckles to grow, take your seeds down there and throw them then. But other than that, do not put them in your septic system because if some of these seeds float and they get out into your lateral lines and sink out into the ground where the moisture goes, you are going to have one big problem with honeysuckles, and it will tear the heck out of your lateral lines and stuff. So just be aware of that. All right, I added 4.5 cups of water to 4 cups of honeysuckles, and I'm just going to let it sit here until it starts boiling. All right, guys, now once it's boiling, you want to get it good and boiling here. Look how pretty that is. Now, you want to turn your burner off, stir it real good, make sure none of the flowers are stuck to the bottom of your pan. Kind of stir it around so you're getting all of that honey out of those flowers. My gosh, if you could smell this, my whole house smells like honeysuckles. It is amazing. All right, once you get it stirred, turn your burner off, and you want to put a lid on it and let it set for at least 2 hours. So just let it sit there. Okay. So now we've let them set for a couple hours. Now we're going to do our first strain. Gosh, they still smell fantastic. All right. So there's our first strain. Let's see what it looks like. Ooh, look at that golden honey color. All right, let me get these stowed away and we'll get you ready for the next straining. All right, guys, so I cleaned and sterilized my pot. Now, I'm going to run the tea, I guess you'd call it, honeysuckle tea. Well, I guess it is a tea at this point. All right. I'm going to run it through the strainer again, but this time with a coffee filter in it. And this will take out all of the small stuff that made it through the screen wire thingy, jiggy bobby. Looks like it done a pretty good job, but doesn't look like there's a lot left in the bottom, or nothing showing up too bad in the filter, I guess you'd say. So it done a really good job. I put 4.5 cups of water in those, and after boiling them and steeping them and everything, I've come up with almost 6 cups of juice. That's how much had come out of those. It's amazing. You wouldn't think those little flowers would hold that much. Well, apparently that's exactly what I came up with, was 6 cups. It's kind of hard to believe that a 1.5 cups of juice came out of 4 cups of flowers. All right, we're going to let that seep through. Man, that looks so pretty. Golden honey color. Even the juice just so strong with that honeysuckle smell. Shoot, you could almost make a room freshener out of just the juice alone. Alright guys, all we got to do is let this finish straining and we'll be ready to put it back on the burner and get it ready for processing and made into jam. Or jelly, not jam. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, now that you have your honeysuckle tea made and you have it strained twice through a wire colander, and then you want to strain it through a coffee filter. Now, we are going to need 4½ cups. And that should be about what I've got. Now, even though I'm adding 4½ cups, I'm going to add another 1/4 cup. And the reason I do that is because during the boiling, a lot of it evaporates. And it will evaporate a lot of the water and cause the tea to concentrate, I guess you'd call it. Alright, so we're going to wait a few minutes and I'll be back as soon as this comes to a boil. Okay, now it's boiling somewhat. Now we want to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and let that come back to a full boil. Because you want this a boil that no matter how much you stir it, you can't get it to stop. You know how some pots, when you stir them, they'll kind of stop a little bit, or go down, I guess you'd call it. See how that one went down? Now we want to wait a few minutes because we want to get that a little hotter. Alright, now I'm going to stir this as I add the pectin. The reason I do that is you got a less chance of your pectin clogging up and clumping up and glogging up in the corners of your pan. Gosh, that smells so good. Still packing that really strong honeysuckle smell. Alright, now we want to let that get back to boil. Keep stirring it, making sure you get all around your pan so your pectin don't clump up. Then, once it gets back to boiling really good, now we're going to add 4½ cups of sugar. And I do this a little at a time so it dissolves quicker. And it keeps juice from cooling down too fast. I hope you guys can see that. Gosh, the smell alone. Ugh. Like my whole house smells like I've got a bouquet of honeysuckles in here. All right, you want to keep stirring it while it heats back up so you can get your sugar melted really good. Be really careful because this stuff gets so hot. If you splatter it on you or even get a little on you, it's hot enough it will peel the skin off. So be very, very cautious. And I do not recommend having children around while you're doing this kind of stuff. It's just too dangerous. And I do realize that a lot of people want to teach their children how to make jelly, but you can stand them back and let them watch if they're younger, and just let them watch and just get them involved as they get a little older. It scares me to death seeing kids around this kind of stuff. I got scalded with a pot of water when I was younger. My mom boiled some eggs on the stove in a saucepan, and she turned it off, and she went off to the living room to do something. And I didn't know what she was making, and I wanted to see. And I was probably 4 or 5 years old, and maybe just came up like that. And I reached up, grabbed the handle, pulled the pot off, and the hot water went right down the front of me and scalded me. And I think that's one of the things that makes me so cautious about cooking stuff like this and when kids are around. And I do agree that kids need to learn this kind of stuff, but appropriate age. You know, don't bring in a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old to do this kind of stuff. It's dangerous. You know, 10 and up, I think they're a little more cautious and they realize. And I think it's okay. But under 10 years old, I just don't think it's a good idea. But that's just me. But anyway, we got to get this back to a boil now. That sugar will really cool it down. It's starting to bubble again. My gosh, I wish that this was smell-o-vision. If you guys could smell this. All right, and see, once it starts boiling again, you want to do this for 1 minute. Once it's boiling, keep it going for 1 whole minute. Don't overcook it. If you overdo it, you could ruin it. I have the burner turned down a little bit. I don't like it on high because sometimes it will take off and you cannot catch it. All right. I'm going to have a lot of foam to dip off because I didn't put any butter in it. I use butter sometimes, but not all the time, because to me, sometimes it will change the taste of your jelly, and I don't like that. All right, now we're going to turn the burner off, and I'm going to let it sit here for just a little bit, just to cool down a few degrees while I get my jars ready. I'll be right back. All right. I got some of the foam off, not all of it. You want to bring it to about 1/4 of an inch from the top. Always remember to wipe the lid of your jars, and I use vinegar because that way, if there happens to be any kind of bacteria or anything on it, it gets rid of it really quick. All right. Look at that golden color. Isn't that beautiful? Tighten your lids finger tight and turn them upside down. All right. I'll be back as soon as I get these all filled now. Okay, so we ended up with 4 8-ounce jars. That's why I always add a little extra, because a lot of the water in these will evaporate to concentrate the juice. So then I turn them upside down. You can give them a water bath, pressure seal them. I prefer to turn them upside down and wait about 30 minutes and turn them back over, and they usually seal on their own. All right, guys, there you go. Golden honeysuckle jelly.